7:45 max because 8 I have another call coming in. So
Okay.
in case if it is getting delayed, would
Okay.
still want to stop by 7:45 max. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it will go up to there only if there are a lot of questions, which
Oh, right. Yeah.
I'm hoping there will be, but
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
see.
Right.
Because this is a topic which a lot of people would like to know a lot of information or get information on. We are hoping there will be students who will take the opportunity to ask you questions. So there are about 20 people now.
అదంటే ఉள்ள ఉందా
So Purnima and Jovia, you can mute everyone else.
என்னடா யார் வர வராங்க எனக்கு இதாடா அது இவத வராளா
யாரு கூட சஜஷன்ஸ் வேணா
ஏய்
ஓ yeah. So Shrikumar, you will also have you will also be able to unmute yourself and speak. I think it's only the participants will be muted.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because you have also been given the co-host thing to be able to do your presentation.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
So Purnima, when you think it's time, we can start.
yes, ma'am. Jovia will be doing the intro today.
Okay. Okay.
May I just give me 2 minutes? I just need to step out for a minute and I'll come back.
Yeah, sure. Are you okay to start then, Shrikumar?
Yeah, I'm good to start. Yeah.
Okay.
Or if you want to give another couple of minutes, I'm also fine with that. No problem with that.
Okay. We'll just then wait. We've got 34. Let's make it 35 and then start.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So Jovia, you can start at 35, 6:35.
Okay, ma'am.
It's already 35.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our Industry Connect series. We are aware that you have a wide range of options following graduation. Some may decide to enter the IT sector or work on a reputable company. Some of you might have different aspirations, such as wanting to start your own business or create something new. Today's session is about AI in software engineering, what to learn, and how to prepare for the future. We are living in an era of rapid technological advancement, where artificial intelligence is no longer a futuristic concept, but a present day reality. And we have the right person to talk about AI and help you plan for your future. It's my pleasure to welcome Mr. Srikumar Pillai, co-founder and chief technology officer at Experian Technologies. A very warm welcome to the session, sir. To introduce the speaker, I welcome Mr. Anand MS, General Manager and Head of Product at SkillActz. I welcome all others who are present here today. I encourage you to speak up, make this an interactive session, and I hope you get the maximum knowledge out of the session. Students, please note, a Google form will be shared at the end of the session. Please fill in the Google form to receive certificate of participation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Jovia. So, good evening, all. Just to introduce, this program. As you all know, SkillActz is a platform for employability. We help freshers find their first job. We, on the other side, we help companies find their fresh talent. So, as part of all that, we want to also contribute to our freshers and students, getting more exposure to the industry, and therefore, we are, always excited when we get, some guests to speak to the students. These are all opportunities we never had back then when I was also a student. So, for me also personally, it is always a happy thing for me to do when I get to do something like this. So, I hope you all will make use of this opportunity. And today's topic is also very interesting. I think I probably not go into that aspect right now, because we hear about it so much that we need not get into the importance of it. But I think today's session will be a lot about the practical aspects of which areas are going to be affected, or how do we prepare for that future. So, and we have the right person for that today, Mr. Sri Kumar Pillai, who is the co-founder and the chief technology officer of Experience Technologies, which is one of the emerging and leading software services company here in Kerala, and serving Fortune 500 clients. So, Mr. Sri Kumar Pillai, he started, after his degrees, MS from BITS, Billani, the Billa Institute of Technology and Sciences. He was at Nest, which later became Quest Global. So, where he was finally rose to the position of head of technology development. And after that, he co-founded Experion, where he has been instrumental in the growth of the company since the beginning. So, with that, I would like to, jump off the stage and, on to you, sir.
Can we get started, Anand, or is there anything else?
Yeah, let's get started.
Okay. Give me a minute. I will share my screen. You're able to see my screen, right?
Yes, full screen. Yeah.
And thank you, Anand. Good evening to everyone, and thank you, Anand, for the introduction. Very happy to be here today. I always enjoy speaking to students. I know it's an online forum, but very happy to be here today. I don't see a lot of faces here, but I know people are there. Feel free to come up with your questions probably end of the session. I have few slides put together because as Anand said, it's an interesting topic. AI in the software engineering. How do we prepare for the future? Now, it's interesting that it's not a topic for just students. It is a topic for everyone. Everyone in the IT industry, or not just IT industry, every industry. because every now and then you always see some new technology coming into the market. A few years back, it was blockchain. Everybody was talking about blockchain, how it is going to disrupt the industry and all that. But probably the hype went down after a few months, or I would say a couple of years, because there is always hype cycle for every technology, and some of these technologies would die down during the hype cycle itself. The hype will go for some time and then it will come down. But this time, I would say maybe last 1 year, I would say, not that AI has been there for quite long. And we have been talking about generative AI for some time, but it has come to prominence, uh, I would say, after ChatGPT introduced their AI solution to the market, made it public, and then people started using it as a chatbot. That made a big difference. And then past few months, we have seen what is coming into the market. People coming with the new LLMs. Um, just like LLM is a very familiar word for everyone, even not in the technology industry. Everybody looks like understand what is generative AI, what is AI models. A lot of awareness among non-technical community also, and we are talking about how it is going to disrupt the entire industry across different uh, verticals, irrespective of what business they are in, right? And it is very clear that it is going to stay. It is not another hype cycle. It would take a while to stabilize, but we know that it is going to stay here. It is going to be the future. Now, any technology coming into the market, software engineers are more interested because if you look at any industry, it is all driven by technology. You're talking about digital solutions, digital transformation. Any technology coming into the market, it would influence the way that businesses uh, sort of leveraging the technology. And AI is not going to be different. Every industry will benefit from it. Everybody is thinking about how do I apply AI into my business. And software industry as a vertical industry, vertical is no different because we, unlike other industry, we will be responsible for implementing AI, and we also have to use AI for our day-to-day work. So, what is there for us as software engineers? I believe most of the audience students here, I would assume you probably come from an engineering background with probably some of you doing computer science or electronics or one of those engineering disciplines, and who understand how software work. So the most important question is, see, everybody is saying right now, saying AI could do 80% of your coding work. The question is, would you be excited or worried? Okay. If you look at me, I started doing actual work way back in 92. So it's a little more than 30 years now into the industry. So I started as a programmer. I started writing programs using C language, assembly language, graduated into C++. We did Java, C Sharp during my time as a programmer. But all these years, we were looking at writing our own code. Like developers, programmers are proud of the work they do. We have a lot of pride in being creative, creating solutions, and we are so um, vocal about our skills in programming, right? Like how good I am in this particular programming language. But now the question is, everybody says if AI is doing the coding work. Should I be worried? The question. I don't need to be worried, I believe, because I don't do any programming in my current phase of career. Sort of moved into a more of a executive management position. So I'm not really worried of myself personally. But I know that the business I am in, the business I am running, is predominantly runs on the work we do for our clients. We are into software service business, and that service business thrive on the code we write for our clients, the intellectual property we create for our clients. So the question is, should I be worried? Yes, I'm worried. I wanted to understand how this is going to affect my industry. As a student, as an engineering student, should you be worried? I think yes, you should be worried. You need to understand what impact it is going to create in the industry. How can I prepare for the future? That's the whole question, right? So we would explore two areas today. One is building software using AI, because that's what software engineers do, right? We build software using software tools. How AI could be leveraged, or how AI will be leveraged to build software, that's one area we would look at. We'll discuss about it. And then we will also look at integrating AI into software. So that's another area, because typically when you create applications, whether it's a web application or a mobile application, the products you develop involve capturing information from users, storing it into a database, and then probably creating dashboards and reports around it. So typically that is the way you create software, right? But now we are looking at probably reimagining the way software would solve problems. So how do you, as a software engineer, integrate AI into your products or the solutions which you are building? That is also going to be a major topic. So let's dive into these topics. Now, I just said AI is already writing code. We need to look at some facts. So it's already there. It is not a future trend. 40% of all the new code is written with some sort of an AI assistance. It's a reality. It's already happening in the industry right now. Now, developers who are using AI are 55% faster. I mean, just not look at the number as is 55 or it is 56, doesn't matter. But the whole point is we are able to use AI to develop software faster. So if you're building products, you can do it faster. You can deliver something in a faster turnaround time to your end clients. Now, we have seen AI engines are already solving some of the programming problems at a similar level to a human programmer. So, are we competing with the AI? I think yes, we are, because AI is able to solve complex problems sometimes even better than a human programmer. It can probably do it, never gets tired, right? Human programmers, yes, we work. When you continue to work for a long time, you get tired, right? But a machine doesn't have that disadvantage. And this is a study, the last point is from Gartner. Says by 27, 80% of software developers will be using some sort of an AI coding assistance. They have to use it. So what does it mean? So it's not future, it is already here. But the question is, what does this mean to you? So you need to understand a little bit about how software is being developed. I'm sure you probably, those who are studying computer science, they have a paper called software engineering. One of your papers will be like software engineering. One thing which you need to realize is software engineering is not just coding. It's not just writing code and deploying it somewhere. It is not uh, an AI impact is, for that reason, it is not limited to coding. It is not generating code from something else. Uh, it is making an impact on all phases of software development life cycle. SDLC, that's what we say, right? The software development life cycle. So it's making an impact. Typically, if you look at software development life cycle, you'll have your requirements, Then you have a development, testing, and then once you deploy the product, it will have support. You need to collect analytics, etc. So if you look at requirements, it would require research, like the customers, the end customers would have certain requirements. So you need to understand more details about the requirements. You need to do research. Now you need to go through an ideation phase where these ideas are more elaborated. Maybe it start with a small idea, but then you will start creating requirement documentation around it, so that when you start developing software, you have a proper documentation where you can start working on. It would require user experience design, because requirement need to be translated into an interface through which the end users can operate the software. So user experience design is required. Then prototyping, like you may not create the entire product initially, but you will create certain prototypes. You probably will brainstorm, or you will test it with some end users, how they use the prototype, to understand some of the feedback early, so that you can refine the requirements. So requirements is a very core um, phase of uh, any product development, any software solution development project. The second part is the development itself. Once you have the requirements in place, or you have a fundamental idea about what are the high level requirements, you would get into designing. It's an architecture is like a foundation, it's like a blueprint on how we are going to build the software. And then you go through coding. You will start writing code using one of the programming languages. You might leverage one of the frameworks out there, and then it might go through a code review and unit testing to ensure that the defects are removed before it goes to the final testing. And then you go through the testing phase. In the testing, you will do functional testing. It could be a manual testing or automated testing. You need to do regressions when releases are being rolled out. You would test for performance, whether the software is responding. It's a web application. What is the loading time? How does it respond to situations where you have more people using the system? You also need to look at security. How secure your software is, whether somebody can hack into it, somebody can access the data from the database we are storing, things like that. And once you roll it out, once you deploy it, and end users start using it, you need to support them, right? You know that software is never free of defects. Even though you test it in your lab, ultimately when it goes out, when people start using it, you would find issues. So you need to support end users for issue resolution. You also need to look at feedback from clients, actual end users. When they are using it, they would find they might find problem, they might find it difficult to use, something which we have not thought about during the requirements phase. All those things can come during the support phase. Now the question is, I mean, it's not like some of you have probably studied about waterfall model, where you create requirements and then develop it, test it, and then go to roll out. But what happens is, in the current industry, nobody does a waterfall based development. We use an agile methodology, like one of these models like Scrum, or I would say safe agile, one of those agile models where you build software incrementally. That means you would build the software in every 2 weeks, for example. Like every 2 weeks, you would roll out a release, so that the users, they don't have to wait 6 months or 1 year to see your product, but they will see the results immediately. So every 2 weeks, when you are rolling out a release, you will be able to get the feedback from clients. You can incorporate those changes into the software. And then sometimes you can even prioritize requirements, because customers demand certain features to be rolled out earlier than expected, and all those things. It can be managed using a agile development life cycle. Now the question is, if AI is helping you in all these areas like writing code, helping you to debug the software, automating the testing. Will developers become obsolete? So I use the word developers for everybody. I'll discuss about the different roles required, but in a real scenario, these different requirements is done by somebody else. Development is done by a particular team, and testing usually independently carried out by somebody else. So it is done by people playing different roles. So we need to answer this question well, whether the developers become obsolete, right? So that's something which we'll try to discuss here. Will AI replace software engineers, right? The answer is maybe not right now. I don't know about the future. Nobody can predict the future. But at least right now, yes, the way I see it as, or the way a lot of people see this, yes, AI can write code, but it lacks several human traits. It is still not human. It is trying to become human, or something. It is even acting like more than a human. But there are certain things which humans are very good at. Right? One is creative problem solving. Right? When you have given a problem, what engineers do? We solve problems. Right? When a problem is given, we apply our creative thinking. Creative thinking doesn't require experience sometimes. I could say that I'm 30 years of experience in industry. Doesn't mean that I'm creative. You probably don't have any experience. You could probably solve a problem better than me, because creativity has nothing to do with experience, right? You can, so AI, what does it do? It follow patterns. AI models, if you look at, they have learned from past data, past information. If you look at LLMs, it is trained using large amount of text data, right? So it actually solves problems using certain patterns, which is learned from the past. But humans are good at creative thinking. We come up with creative solutions for solving problems. So I think we would still continue to excel in creative problem solving when we compare ourselves with uh, an AI engine. System design. So when you look at software development, it's not like when when you listen to a requirement from a client, somebody wants to solve a problem, you immediately go and write code, right? If you look at my past slide, it was talking about requirements, design, and then coding, and then testing. So it's a cycle we need to follow, and we do it iteratively. Like in 2 week cycles, we do it, but we do everything. In between this 2 weeks, you do requirements, you code it, you build it, test it, and then come up with a solution, right? And system design again require designing a system would require human expertise, because coming with a solution architecture is not. It would definitely, again, it can be AI can help here, but human will be able to do a system design more effectively, because there are multiple components, multiple considerations. It's not just always the technical considerations, right? It's sometimes business considerations. It is sometimes compliance related aspects. It's sometimes ethical considerations. So a lot of aspects to be considered when you design a system where humans can perform better. Ethics is another area. Probably you have heard about this before. When you apply AI, there are certain biases, there are certain issues related to fairness of AI produced output. You probably heard about hallucinations where AI can just make up certain things, like just like humans do. Um, it could make up something. It may not be related to actual data. So as humans, we are supposed to make those judgments effectively rather than uh, automatically believing in something, right? So ethics is another area which changes, which is different from. There are certain considerations which could be different from geography to geography, compliance related aspects, privacy related considerations. A lot of things where a human would outperform an AI engine. And maintaining and debugging, because you know that once a product is rolled out, it would still require a lot of maintenance. Like you'll fixing bugs, you will be enhancing it, you will be debugging it, and ensuring that it meet all the requirements. So the essence is, I don't think it would replace developers immediately, but developers who use AI will replace those who don't, right? So which would mean that you need to probably start understanding AI better than ever. So the question is, to embrace AI, what do you need to do? So the answer is very simple. The future of software engineering is going to be AI driven. I don't have any doubt about it. So as a student, as an engineering student, if you're going to get into the software industry, you need to build a strong foundation with respect to AI literacy, automation, and problem solving, and learn how to integrate AI tools into the development. So you probably already learning programming languages as part of your curriculum, but are we using any AI tools? That's the question. Are you writing everything yourself? Are we using any APIs, or are you using AI assisted coding or automation frameworks? I think this is going to play an important role if you want to uh, get a competitive advantage. You need to start looking AI as a copilot. I think that word is used everywhere right now. A copilot is a person sits beside the main pilot, right? You have a captain for a flight and you have a copilot. So can you consider an AI assistant helping you to create the software you are building? So this is something which you need to understand. So what do you mean by AI ML literacy? It is about building AI knowledge. So you need to understand how you can integrate AI capabilities into the software you are building. Okay, it's not about becoming a data scientist. That's a different area. When you are building software, if you are trying to get into a software industry, you can play any of those roles we discussed earlier, but you need to understand how and when to apply AI, right? Not all the problems need AI as a solution. You may not need it. You probably solving problems using AI models. So you need to understand you are a ton of models out there. You can think about all the different type of models available, large language models out there. So if you want to really become a AI driven software engineer, you need to understand the AI model capabilities, limitations. What do you apply it? Natural language processing, computer vision, recommendation systems. Where do you apply AI models? And the APIs and frameworks and tools out there, because you are not going to build anything from scratch. See, current day software development, nobody does anything from scratch. There are a lot of components out there, open source or subscription based, paid tools. So we use tools and frameworks and APIs to build software. So you need to build knowledge on that. And definitely, I spoke about this earlier also, ethical consideration, being aware of the bias, fairness, privacy related aspects when you are building an AI application. So how do you get started? If you want to get started today, okay, you need to learn AI fundamental. I'm just listing couple of options there, but there are a ton of sources out there. You can start learning AI fundamentals. Experiment with AI APIs and LLMs. Again, it is available out there. You can try some of these things which mentioned here, but you can find a lot of other platforms and systems where you can experiment with AI APIs and LLMs. Try to build something, because you can't really learn anything by just reading books and reading websites and all that. But you need to build projects using AI. It could be AI driven search, it could be chatbots. You are creating a conversational interface using AI. You can try any of that. And then you need to follow AI trends and best practice, because staying updated with AI is very important, because it is changing every day, not every week. It is changing every day. New technology is coming. AI related things are coming out to the market every single day. So what I'm saying is AI literate engineers will have a edge by building smarter, efficient solutions. The traditional way of building software will be soon going out. So if you know how you can apply AI features into the products you create, it give more features, AI driven features. Why should I go into a system, click multiple menus, and come with a dashboard to understand my data? Where I can just go and type, okay, what was my sales performance last month compared to the last year, right? And if your system, the system which you are building, is able to answer that question directly to the end users rather than giving them 10 different screen to interpret that, see the results and interpret it themselves. I think that's the new way of building an application. Now, if you look at software engineering, so we just spoke about incorporating AI into the products and solutions you create. But what about software engineering itself? So we spoke about the different phases of software development life cycle. But if you look at, I'm just trying to sort of divide this into different roles. So there's a product management function where business analysts, product managers are involved who will work with the end users or the clients to understand their requirements, translate this into user stories and actual functional requirements. And there are people who does the UX UI design, where you will have user experience designers, visual designers who will build the front end, the visual front end for your application. There are people who does actual coding, front end development, back end development, full stack development, all that. And then the quality engineering, where you test the software against the requirements you have created to see that it is conforming to the requirements. It is performing as required. And finally, when you roll it out, you will have people who handles the operations part of it, DevOps engineers, release managers. So a lot of people think software engineering is all about coding. It is not true. If you really when you get into a software company, you would see that software developers, coders are only part of the team. So if you look at a team, a Scrum team, let's say 8 to 9 people, you will see definitely a Scrum Master who is not a developer. You will see a business analyst who is not a developer. You probably will see um, DevOps engineer. Again, DevOps engineer is not a coder. You will see people who create interfaces, UX, UI designer. They are again not developers, right? And then testers. So the programming part is only a part of it. Probably I would say 40% of the total effort in a project. Rest of it is actually divided between all other functions. So if you are very keen about becoming a programmer, yes, that is definitely an interesting area. But if you are not very keen about becoming, if you think probably programming is too difficult or that's not my area, there are other areas you can get into. So you could actually choose your role based on your interest and aspirations. This is very important, I think, when you're coming from a college. Don't think that software engineering is all about just writing code and then developing software. It involves multiple roles, and AI is used in every single role I mentioned here. For product management, for UX design, coding, definitely coding assistance, testing, DevOps, in every single phase, every role AI is being used. So, what skills matter? So, we spoke about how to incorporate AI into the product itself. Why it is really required? Because end users would demand AI when you create solutions. The second was, okay, when you develop software, what roles you would play and how AI is going to influence that, because AI is used for all those roles. But again, the question is it just technology alone? Because the last two slides I spoke about technology, right? So, what other skills would matter? So, the software engineer is not just about mastering technology. You need to understand that very clearly. Technology is only a part of your skills or the competency you would develop. It requires other skills. Just trying to list out some of these things here. Critical thinking and problem solving. AI can generate, but you are responsible. Finally, it is a human who is responsible for assessing the accuracy, relevance, and feasibility. So, thinking beyond AI is important. And as a software engineer, this is a skill which you would expect. Continuous learning. Can you really stop learning? It is not like you graduate from the college and then sometimes you wonder, okay, what did I learn in the college, right? Because when you come to the industry, you would see that, okay, it's entirely different. Sometimes, okay, the fundamentals are important, but probably the language you have learned, it is different. Now the company is asking you to develop in a different framework, different language. So you need to learn. AI is not different. AI is evolving rapidly. So you need to learn to experiment. You need to build your knowledge in Gen AI, LLMs, machine learning. Communication and collaboration is another important skill because the individual contribution alone will not help in today's development. It is a teamwork and effective collaboration is with stakeholders. It could be your client, it could be your team, other teams. If you want to play a hero in the development world, it doesn't work anymore. It used to be in the past. But now you need to collaborate, communicate really well. So, communication is really important when you become a software engineer. Creativity and innovation, thinking beyond the existing AI tools. I keep saying this, AI can help you, AI can complement you. So you can apply AI to enhance efficiency. But the whole point is to understand how AI can augment human intelligence. So all these skills are very important when you are going for a software engineer role. So the education itself would change, I believe, because it need to be also AI driven, because I would see a lot of learning happens or it has to be AI powered. It need to be personalized based on what the learner or the student or the participant want to learn. It needs to focus on skills for the future. A lot of content, technology content in Udemy and other sources may get outdated very soon, because if you know one programming language, you probably can ask AI to sort of translate this into a different programming language. Let's say you are a Python programmer and you wanted to generate something in, let's say, Node.js. You don't need to learn Node.js. You can ask AI to translate. It can do that very well, right? But the last point, lifelong learning, this is going to stay here. I mean, with software engineering, this is never going to die here. Most of us started, probably learned something, started developing something, the kind of systems we worked on, the kind of programming languages, it's all gone. It's a totally new system. So you need to keep learning yourself. So the future of education and training would also, you will see a major transformation how people learn new things. So what is the future? If you wanted to, if you want to position yourself for tomorrow, it's not based on the number of lines of code you write. Again, I want you to take this. This is a takeaway. Like, it is not coding. It is not coding alone in software development. But in future, you need to learn how to use AI to build smarter and better solutions. So there are Lord, I did not list all the tools here because there are hundreds, thousands of tools coming into the market every day. You have probably heard about GitHub Copilot. I have mentioned a couple of them here. but Amazon Q, Codium, Code Whisperer, can use ChatGPT itself, or you can use Claude. There are a ton of solutions out there. So you can just go and explore AI tools available in the market today and build knowledge in those areas, because it will help you to be a better software engineer. But again, never lose sight of your core software engineering fundamentals, because strong problem solving skills are still in demand. People who can translate system requirements into actual solution, right? Those things will continue to be in high demand. So while you are exploring AI tools, while you are learning AI models, machine learning, it is important to keep in mind that the fundamentals are very important. The fundamental knowledge, and most of it is you acquire from your college, that continue to be in high demand in the market, because without fundamental knowledge, it is going to be very difficult to stay as a software engineer. Because what software engineer does is learn new things. How do you learn new things? Unless you have a fundamentals, unless your fundamentals are strong, it's very difficult to learn new things. So you need to focus on these things to stay ahead, um, and to be in the forefront of this AI driven software engineering. So that's my last slide. Thank you, and thanks for listening to me. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you. Hey, Meena, I think you are.
Yeah. They have unmuted me. Recently, I don't know whether I read it in the paper or somewhere about there are a set of program people who are working to see whether AI can also start having that human kind of emotions and other things. So is that something which is that something which will happen close soon?
It is happening. I mean, there is. So we call this artificial intelligence. There is some research and then work happening on the general intelligence.
Hmm.
But it might take some time to probably come out. But
Okay.
in the industry, yes, all of us are really using it on a day-to-day basis. So it's not people outside the industry, but in the industry itself, there are again ethical considerations and all. Because sometimes, if you look at software industry, we talk about intellectual property, right? Intellectual property is something which you own, right?
Hmm.
Which you guarantee to your clients that, see, I have written this code, isn't it? But right now we are saying that I am using an AI assistant to generate code. So can I claim that the code generated by an AI tool based on the prompt given to the AI tool, can I claim that it is my intellectual property, right? So there are certain legal aspects with respect to that's happening, but it will all go away in probably few months or years, because people would require AI to stay here, and it will all influence software development. Yeah.
So, I mean, everybody's talking about it, and you also mentioned about it's going to impact all walks of life. So, it's not only engineering, but everybody else. So, what is the kind of preparation? So, is it just knowing how to use the tools which will help everybody, or like students who are in other streams, not engineering per se, not they're not developers? What is the kind of challenges that they will face, or what is the preparation they have to do? Is it the
Challenges will
same?
come down, I would say.
Okay.
Because earlier, if you look at somebody come from, let's say, electrical and probably civil or one of those other engineering streams, might struggle a bit, right? Because they have not really done
Coding.
any coding, or maybe have done some programming. But so when they go to an engineering, the fundamental assumption is that they are really good in problem solving, right? Now, software engineering, you would require a programming language or a platform to solve that problem. right? So if you're a good problem solver, yes, you have an AI assistant right now, which can help you to write the code. You need not be a master of that coding right now. Of course, somebody need to validate the code, but it can do a lot of heavy lifting in terms of code generation. Yeah.
I have other questions, but we'll wait for.
So there is one. There is a question on AI-based authentication improve user security. I did not understand what is AI-based authentication. Because most of the systems, software systems, still use some sort of a password-based authentication or one of this biometric-based authentication to authenticate the users to the software. So I did not understand what is meant by AI-based authentication. How AI will reshape or shape the future of full stack development. Yes, that's what I was, I think, talking about. Because when you talk about full stack development, you are supposed to know about front end development, back end development, database design, everything. So if you are a programmer who want to be a full stack developer, the advantage is you can get all sort of an assistance from AI tools out there. Whether it's GitHub Copilot, Amazon Code Q, or Codium, or you use one of those tools. And there are other tools also coming. I'm just mentioning only few, but all these tools can help you to write, rewrite. All you need to do is prompt it well and then validate. Sometimes this code, we have seen that code being generated not exactly correct. Sometimes a human programmer able to review it and see that, okay, there's a better way to do it. We have seen that. But most of the cases, it would generate code, really good code. So it would help you to become a full stack developer. Let's say you are strong in back-end development, but you wanted to become full stack and then you wanted to build your knowledge in front-end development. This can really help you because the advantage is when you become full stack, you can vertically slice and you can probably do a full top-down development. You can do an entire feature you can build yourself. So that's an advantage. Is it necessary to develop AI tool in current scenario? I did not understand that question very clearly. Develop AI tool in current scenario. There are a lot of AI tools out there, and people are doing more and more tools from a it depends on what industry you are in. Let's say my company, we are in software service industry, so we do not focus on developing an AI tool, but we try to leverage AI tools out there to build software. So if you are a tool development company, yes, that might be something which you can think about creating an AI tool. I don't know whether that is a question asked.
Anand, you were saying something.
Yeah, if I put myself in the place of a young person, just graduating or still a student, and I already have so many things which I am supposed to know, I need to learn, and I am at a loss. Where do I begin? And now people are saying I also need to learn AI. So, is there something I can not? I can stop learning because AI will take care of it.
That's an interesting question. It is a little bit difficult to answer because um, see, when you are, let's say you are um, again, you need to look at different engineering disciplines, right? Let's say if you're an electrical engineer, right, and let's say you're an electronics engineer who design hardware, right? So circuit design, can AI help? Right now, I don't think it is pretty much. Uh, it is probably possible in the future. It is probably happening. But let's say an electronics engineer designing a hardware, it would require they need to design a circuit, simulate the circuit, and probably design the PCB.
இப்ப நான் பேசுறது கேக்குதா நமக்குங்களா?
Yeah, move all the design to the circuit, I mean the PCB, and finally sort of build it and then prototype it and then test it. And so there is a life cycle, just like software development cycle. There's a life cycle involved, right? Now AI, again, just like software, it could help you to do things, but you would still require your basic electronics knowledge, or it is not a basic electronics knowledge, maybe an expert electronics knowledge to build a production ready hardware, right? So you cannot stop learning electronics, right? Or if you are building a, let's say you're civil engineer building a building or architecting a large building, can you get rid of your civil engineering fundamental topics, the strength of materials, how do you design something? It has sort of matured over the years, right? Of course, you probably can ask an AI tool, okay, I want to design this is the size of building, or I don't know, maybe some parameters, and ask it whether it can give us certain. I've done this to ChatGPT. I wanted to probably um, design a layout for a let's say 1200 square foot area. It is a rectangular area. Can you give me a layout? And it is able to give me that layout. Now, whether it is optimal, whether it is better than a civil engineer will do it, maybe not yet, right? So, to Anand, the way I feel it is, I don't think you can stop anything right now, but in future it might happen. It's just like in schools, we learned letter writing, right? We learn writing composition. The whole idea was, yes, develop your writing skills. Or how do you write a letter? Now, do you think it is really required in school right now? Because you can ask, go and the kids are doing it, right? I wanted to write. The other day, I was trying to write a Malayalam letter to for a electricity board, KSCB in Kerala, to change my service wire, right? So I can write this in English, but how do I write it in Malayalam? Maybe it is not that I don't know Malayalam, but it's little difficult, right? We are not used to it right now. So I just asked, I want a Malayalam letter to write to this KCB section. I got a letter. I just had to just modify it. So letter writing itself might change. So I think the education curriculum itself, we need to relook at it. Lot of questions. See, it's actually come to us, maybe to parents to ask questions, or they will go to teachers to ask questions, right? A lot of them might turn into asking questions to ChatGPT or one of those DeepSeek or one of those tools, because that tool can give a comprehensive answer compared to the parent or the teacher, right? So, whom they would believe, a machine or human, right? It is an ethical question we need to answer, but that is already happening. So the education itself, whether it is school or even engineering education, I think it will have a major impact. Probably this curriculum designers or academists, they probably have to rethink, reimagine the way the education is done. There are a few other questions. We will memorize the syntax. It is a good question. Yes, you probably don't need to memorize the syntax. It's like we used to carry a phone book earlier, right? When you have phone numbers, right? But right now, nobody remembers. Probably, I don't. Some people don't even remember their own number, right? Because you have a phone, you are carrying everything on your fingertips. So people, or let's assume that in ancient days there was no paper. People used to have large, all our epics and other things written as poems and all, right? Because you would chant and then learn and memorize it. So that has gone once the paper has come. Now paper has moved into handheld device. So why do I need to learn a language? The AI can write a beautiful letter. He can summarize it better than me. And programming language is not different. Why should I learn all the syntax and different keywords? But I say that this is the way I wanted to solve the problem, and it can generate code. So there could be a situation. It's a good question. A situation where you don't have to remember anything, memorize all the syntax. Your AI assistant can really do it. How can we ensure AI remains a tool for human benefit rather than a potential risk to society? It could happen. Potential. So the potential risk to society, maybe. So I think that there was a recent, I think, international conference which happened in Paris, where all even our prime minister spoke about ethical use of AI and all that, right? So I think regulators, administrators in all countries and politicians probably sit together and understand where they can apply AI, where it cannot be used. Can it replace, for example, like a medical profession? The other day, I was uploading a medical report, a radiology report, which is very difficult for understand for a common man, right? Only a doctor can understand it. So I was just trying to see how ChatGPT processes it. I just uploaded it to the ChatGPT and asked, okay, I want an explanation of this in common man's language. So it gave me a very beautiful explanation of no technical words. What exactly it written in the radiology report, two-page radiology report, it's summarized into a half-page report. It is again excellent example. It explained it better than my doctor, right? Now, is that ethical? Will that create a situation where people would ask this AI engine for, okay, this is my condition right now. I have cold and I am sneezing for last couple of hours. Should I take this medicine? I can ask and it will give you an answer, right? But can I just replace doctor with an AI engine? We don't know. Or look at a profession like a legal profession. If you look at the lawyers, you will see large books of the rulings from I don't know, several decades is somewhere, right? And they some of them are, they can memorize it. They can say, okay, in 1957 there was a ruling in this Allahabad High Court, and can you bring it? And then probably you'll ask a junior to take a citation from and all that, right? Now, what if you are training AI engine with all these rulings, right? You don't need a junior advocate to help you to do it. Your AI assistant will do it. Now, if you are taking that, can even replace a judge with an AI engine. So there are risks which as a community we need to address, because anything which can be seen from a which can do good for your society, it can be also used in a different manner, right? It can create harm. It can be used. It can become a potential threat to the society. So that's something which we need to see. I mean, it can be sort of regulated through only certain regulations or some of the laws or rules which the administrators have to bring into the public. Yeah.
Are there any more questions, Anu?
I think that is it.
That doesn't look like any more questions. Sorry. He has to go on mute.
Good evening. On behalf of SkillActz and everyone here, I want to extend our deepest gratitude to our speaker, Mr. Srikumar Pillai, for taking the time to share your invaluable insights on AI with us today. So, you gave us a clear idea about the facts of AI, how AI is changing the software development, and also the questions you cleared in a very clear way. So I'm sure that who are present here today will be leaving with actionable insights that will help them in their future. So once again, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
I would yeah, okay. I would like to thank our 20 team, Answer, Meena ma'am, Sangeeta, Jackson, Arjun, and Sharu for putting this event together and ensuring everything ran smoothly. I am also very grateful to students and all others who are present here today. Please fill the Google form to receive certificate of participation. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sri Kumar, once again from my side. Sri Kumar, thank you very much, especially from my side also. Thank you so much for coming over and talking
No,
about
it's
this
my
particular
pleasure. Yeah,
topic.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Anand, and thanks everyone. Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Good night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you all. Bye.